R&B is like the garden, you know, and every garden has different species of flowers, but they're all still flowers.
Yeah.
To say that an artist isn't R&B, or to say, oh, they're saying that because we're black. It's like, oh no, it's because we can see the clear influence.
Yeah.
And the clear influence is R&B artists.
We talk about family trees, branches, legs, all of that when it comes to specific artists and like their daughters and their sons and stepchildren and all of that. And if you can liken back to some of that within a specific artist, what's alternative about it? In my mind, alternative R&B would make more sense if it was a blending of alternative music and R&B, but R&B already includes some of that alternative sound within it, so why take it apart?
Hello?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's wake it. What?
They never said the Psyce podcast was too much.
Who know more about music than us?
The Psyce is a black podcast spanning all genres with a sprinkle of pop culture and a shit ton of food.
If you're not from DC, you probably don't know what Psyce means.
Actual studio light is higher quality.
You have to stop always saying that.
It's really crazy because it's a whole different setup and I still found a way or made one.
As Clark Atlanta does.
An alumnus. Wow. Love that for
Period.
us. Well, welcome to another episode of this bullshit.
Yeah, welcome to the Psyce. Can we talk about how everybody at the Grammys really had my haircut?
The Watashi is Wasta. It was literally...
If y'all don't know, I'm currently in my Blasian era. So I have the Jaime cut. And now everyone has it.
She wanted to be A-Marie so bad.
You're not wrong. That's the thing.
I mean, a good girl to want to be. I mean, Miley had it. Gaga had it. It was a couple girls.
It was somebody else. One of the other like bigger girls had it.
Bigger girls is funny.
Billy had it.
Miss Eyelash.
Yeah.
Wow. William, come on the cast.
Everybody had it. All three of y'all can come on the cast.
Like right now at the same time.
Yeah,
Making
with our matching coordinated haircuts.
I'm not cutting, so.
Oh.
I could fold these.
Oh, yeah, you could fold it.
Oh, like Cynthia from.
Just curling them under. Okay.
Never mind.
All right. We're definitely having a Jaime cut, he may cut episode.
He may cut, Jaime cut. He may. He won't. Anyway, this is the Psyce Podcast. I'm Muse.
I'm Steph. What's up, y'all?
Child.
We're coming to you all with a very serious public service announcement. Everybody lean in close. Whether you're watching or listening, get real close. I mean, I need you to like, your eyelash need to be scraping the screen. Because I need y'all to hear us and hear us very good.
She's not playing.
There is no such thing as alternative R&B.
At all.
Let's talk about it.
My whole thing is this. It started off as a read.
It did.
It started off as a read.
That's the goo gaga of it.
Like, if you really want to talk down to the girls, I don't like that. Like, my vantage point is we started to hear the term alternative R&B around 2010-11 when Jhené Aiko was dropping her solo project. Frank Ocean was coming to prominence. Like, all of these like different sounding girls who didn't necessarily have the traditional R&B sound or liken to the past that everyone was attached to. But I feel like because they weren't powerhouse vocalists or they weren't screaming from the mountaintops, there wasn't any like Baptist church sound in the gravel of their voice, that the girls wanted to call them something else. And I'm just like, but there's like aspects of Sade in a lot of this. There's aspects of Donna Summer in some of this. Like, these people still count in the diaspora grand scheme of what we know and love as R&B. So why y'all shading them?
And then the shade turned into like empowerment because then everybody had a Tumblr account, was like, I'm so Zeep, I'm so different.
Zeep and different is late.
And they felt, I'm alternative, I'm not like those other black people, like that girl on Dr. Phil. And so then they took alternative to R&B to mean that they are something separate and apart from.
But also separate, apart, and above.
And above.
And why would you even want to do that?
And so now for us, we really just feel like this alternative R&B label is really anti-Black in a lot of ways.
It is.
And it's ahistorical to the breadth of sounds that encapsulates R&B.
Exactly.
And so when an artist be like, oh, I don't make R&B, I make whatever. That is R&B, child. Just because you put a little piece of zinth, that is Zapp and Roger. You know, it's like beautiful. And Zapp and Roger and Uncle Charlie would never not say that wasn't an R&B song ever.
That's just like saying that Prince's hits are not R&B because they had the pop sound of the 80s, or like he crafted his own little lane within this microcosm of all of the words that you want to use. It's still R&B. R&B is R&B and R&B. Like black is black is black.
Hello, listen. And so it's like when you use the term alternative R&B, it's really, besides like kind of
classes.
You're divorcing
a word.
These like very clear lines of legacy, you know, that we can easily just name an artist and name somebody from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that had that same exact sound that is staunchly would call themselves R&B. And you're also minimizing how like wide and varied R&B is.
Yep. I think that it's also kind of like the conversation we have about the Grammys and how they pigeonhole artists. And if you're not a part of this necessary genre, or you don't look like the people that are in that category or whatever, then it becomes something completely different. But with the wide spectrum of what we love about R&B, there's no world where SWV and Sade make the same type of music, but they're both included in that category. And I feel like you could say the same thing about newer artists who've changed over time. Like Erykah Badu's albums all sound very different. Mm-hmm. They're all still R&B albums.
Absolutely.
So why do that to the artist? It's not fair to the artist, and then it's also not fair to the listener.
Yeah, and I love the recent Lucky Day interview, and he was saying like R&B is like the garden, you know, and every garden has different species of flowers, but they're all still flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to say that an artist isn't R&B, or to say, oh, they're just saying that because we're Black, it's like, oh no, it's because we can see the clear influence.
Yeah.
And the clear influence is R&B artists.
We talk about family trees, branches, legs, all of that when it comes to specific artists and like their daughters and their sons and stepchildren and all of that. And if you can liken back to some of that within a specific artist, what's alternative about it?
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, alternative R&B would make more sense if it was a blending of alternative music and R&B, but R&B already includes some of that alternative sound within it, so why take it apart?
Hello?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's wake it. What?
It's hurting me and my homegirl's feelings, me and my homegirl being Steph, because
it's like, are you ashamed
what are you
to be
talking about?
a part of the legacy of R&B? Do you feel like it's beneath you? Do you feel like it's too like chitlin circuit, whatever, to be a part of? Because the fact of the matter is, all these other genres are birthed out of R&B. So when you even talk about, like you were saying about like alternative and like rock and all that kind of stuff, where's that coming from? Rhythm and blues music.
Yeah, it started with
R&B is the heart of all of these different and zeep sounds that everybody, you know, wants to say that they're making.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, we could do it so easily. Like if someone talks about Janelle Monáe being alternative R&B, that's Prince's daughter.
Real bad.
That is Prince's literal daughter.
Birthed her.
Okay.
Out
From his
the
own,
womb.
right?
I'm annoyed, but knew I was going to take it there. I just think that it's weird to distance from original pathing, especially when y'all be down to the R&B parties singing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Singing will bring home the bacon. The Choir and the Competition is obviously not out. Y'all still singing Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk, but love the fact that her put out her volumes and they sounded a little different. There's an R&B girl.
Down, through and through.
We have to stop hanging out.
I know, it's bad. But that's the other thing too, is like people think if it doesn't sound like Jodeci or Mary J. Blige that it's not R&B.
That's not fair.
And to pigeonhole R&B to just the 90s, like one decade when rhythm and blues has been around for over 100 years.
But you know how to feel. You know how the girls feel about the 90s.
And listen, I feel the same way about the 90s. It was definitely the height of Black cultural output, the height of Blackness. Like when
all
being Black was the most fun. I get it. I love the 90s. Shout out to VH1. That was my show. But
strikes back.
Oh, it strikes back. I used to eat. But we have to really like take a step back, zoom out, and look at like all the different sounds that R&B has been over the years, and look at the ways that the artists that we have now are children of that, are students of that, whether they want to admit it themselves or not, because a lot of it too is the artists themselves saying, oh, I don't make R&B. I don't make R&B. I make jazz. Well, baby, what you think jazz is?
Exactly. All of that shit is jazz,
that's
gospel, R&B,
down, right?
Like what? It's all connected, and I think I love that you said zoom out.
What they say R&B is gospel about one nigga.
And to be fair, gospel has become interchangeable because you don't know whether Brandy talking about God or her doll or he is.
No, because BB and CeCe Winans blended the lines. They blurred the lines. Crazy.
What's her name? Corinne, my dog with the gravelly voice. You don't know who she be singing about? It's our Lord and Savior.
Yolanda, all of them. But what you were saying?
Alone in a room.
It's me and you.
All is lost.
I don't know what to do.
She said and ask you for some guidance, especially on today.
Listen, when my world
just seems so cloudy. That's not, he wasn't man enough for me. That's not what, just be a man about it.
You know what's funny? My mom's pastor, I won't say his name, but he had a concert and he was doing a mix of gospel and secular, and he was like, don't y'all get upset with me about doing some secular songs because they're the same thing. And so what he would do was he would start a secular song and then he would go into the gospel song sounds just like it. It's like this all from the same family line. Like one of my favorite John P. Key songs, they interpolate Aaron Hall, I Miss You.
A song. Singing to you, baby.
Listen.
I miss you.
And John P. Key is church down
to the ground.
But the ways in which R&B and gospel and jazz are they were sisters. Like you said, you always say, you know. But what were you about to say about zooming out?
I just like that you said zoom out because I also think that alternative R&B as a term is trickle-down effect from the misplacement of hip-hop. I feel like artists like Drake, artists like Kid Cudi, artists like Kanye, I would even group him in, they came out with specific sounds for their time that weren't as hardcore as the rap that we were getting from our predecessors. So because it was like girl rap or it was something that was more likened to a softer man, they tried to make alternative R&B within that space that was being lost or the void that they were trying to fill. Because if it wasn't for Drake, we wouldn't have got songs from Frank Ocean. We wouldn't have got certain types of music that people were making to, like I said, kind of cover all of their bases. They were scared that the hip hoppers were going to take a place in R&B because of the impact of music that those guys were making. And I think with them being kind of nervous, birthed the term alternative R&B. And then it just got really messy after that because now everybody's music is all encompassing.
Right. And the other thing too is a lot of these people started off with this whole thing of being alternative. We're different Black people, but now everybody dresses like different Black people.
I literally was going off about this the other day on Twitter because some girl said something inflammatory about DC in terms of PG County. And I was just like, well, if you really want to take it back, personal style stopped existing once Instagram, Tumblr, and Kanye West were everywhere. So because everyone has the opportunity to see everyone else's aesthetic, regional dressing isn't necessarily a thing anymore. You can always know that I'm from DC because I uphold what it used to give. But you can't just go in a city and be like, oh, this is what they look like there.
Right.
No, because everybody has Instagram and everybody's trying to look like a scammer.
Or different.
But it's the same thing that can be said about music. We don't even necessarily have mainstream artists that uphold the regionality of what their sound is supposed to be, even if it's just section of R&B, rap, whatever. A$AP Rocky came out, sounded like 3 6 Mafia, and he's from Harlem.
And he was dressing in a way that most rappers were not dressing at the time.
Exactly.
But now all the rappers is in labels and skinny jeans and might put a little heel on the boot.
I'm sick of Kiss Boots. I live in a Rick Owens, everything else, but them Kiss Boots need to die. Sorry, Lil Nas, I love you, but no.
Yeah, so I think also too this need to be to sit on the other couch is strange because everyone is sitting on your couch now. Everyone wants to dress like Solange now. Everybody dresses like that now.
I'm so sad.
So it's not like you're now alternative. What are you the alternative to if that's how everybody looks? What are you the alternative to if everyone is having that same sound?
Exactly. And everybody can't be grouped into alternative R&B. Because what's regular R&B then?
Right.
Like, Keisha Cole still need a place to sing.
Exactly. Because at this point, like, when you think about...
She really
like,
don't, actually. But go ahead. I don't need to listen to Keisha Cole. Sorry.
So, like, SZA is now, like, the queen of R&B, right? And SZA is who people determine to be Miss Alternative R&B. So, if she's the queen of R&B, that album, her last album, been on the charts for 2 years straight. What are you making that's alternative to that? The actual alternative would be a Keisha Cole song. The alternative to that would be like Money Long. Getting Through. You know what I'm saying? Because that now is more rare to hear or not as supported. You know, as a SZA or a Janae or, you know, artists like that.
It's weird to me because just because SZA had inspiration, influence, like all of that from Eartha Kitt, Bjork, Madonna, whatever that may be, that doesn't mean that she wasn't also making R&B. And
because Minnie Riperton vibes down, like Welcome to My Garden down,
like
Sade down.
All of the girls take from all of the girls, and I just don't think that it's fair. It pigeonholes the artist. It confuses the listener because then we have to break it down for y'all like this, and it's just like because there are other shows and like other platforms where they will stand on the tail of I love alternative R&B, and I'm just like, y'all ain't listen to Zapp and Roger like you said. Y'all ain't listen to the Delphonics because Hey Love is literally what like that melting, that psychedelicness, like all of that. There's songs just like that on Janae's album, and she's singing in 4-part harmony like she's 5 men with a little yin 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 on the side.
And at the end of the day, all these alternative artists look up to Brandy.
It's gonna always circle back to B Rocka in my household.
So what is alternative when you literally study from Rihanna University?
I love that Kehlani will get up in her seat and be like, no, I sing R&B.
Period.
A lot of them are doing that. Like Destin Conrad, he was getting grouped in with like black gay pop, and he was just like, nah, I'm definitely an R&B nigga.
Top to bottom.
Those were his words.
His exact tweet.
And I live for stuff like that. Like melodic rap's influence on R&B, black people wanting to separate themselves because of class distinction, whatever, which is a bigger problem. And then people just not knowing what they're talking about are the reasons that we have to come out and be like, it actually doesn't exist, y'all. You ever listen to a Shaka Khan album?
Listen, right? And go back to like Rufus.
Nah, for real.
Go back to all Rufus albums.
I don't like.
Go back to, like I said, Minnie Riperton. Go back to oh my God, I'm blanking on her name, but she's this black Canadian R&B artist I love from like the 70s. Oh my God, so many people.
It's like all of the girls could be named.
To even like whittle down like who's soon. I think also too like the lesser known artists is also where you can find these sounds that a lot of people think didn't come around till Tumblr, and it's like, oh no, like this sound been out.
Bryson
that person
Tiller
just wasn't on the radio necessarily, and it's a very you had to know kind of person, or you go to their show and their show is all white audiences because that's what they were marketed to. Because for some reason their label felt that because they didn't sound like the Supremes at that time, where they didn't sound like Patti LaBelle in the 80s, that they had to be kind of put into another category, but that doesn't make them any less R&B.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I feel like if you really know the history and the people who came before, and before doesn't even have to be that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Bryson Tiller, I was about to say, he's doing his best I'll Be Sure impression on a regular basis. It's just
I can tell you how I feel.
Night and. I just feel like the feeling in some of these songs is not different enough for y'all to be having the conversations that y'all are having without everybody is a digital A&R. And I'm just like, y'all actually would fail miserably at your jobs if you
we actually are digital A&Rs, because we know what we talking about
in real life.
Because we can give y'all the historical facts.
There have been several conversations to like spring up out of this R&B, alternative R&B, girls versus girls thing. And I'm just like, everybody shut up.
But one of the funniest ones that came out of this was, so someone had put up a collage of like, oh, I love all these girls, these albums. And it had people like Kalela, Rochelle Jordan, Raven Lenae, FKA Twigs, Tinashe, Solange was on there. And then someone QRT'd and said, oh my God, I love white boyfriend music. And it set Black Twitter ablaze because Zeep and Different Black Twitter was like, well, I never had a white boyfriend and I listen to that music.
Okay, girl.
Well, first of all, let's start with a lot of those artists have publicly had non-black boyfriends.
On a regular basis.
So for y'all to take, first of all, it was a joke.
It was supposed to be funny.
It was funny to us. I was falling out.
I was keying down.
Like real bad.
Like on the ground, Julie Brown, downtown.
A tear might have dropped because I was laughing so bad. Like,
oh my God. Because I knew what they meant.
Right. You know what they meant, right? And then, but if you want to get for real, let's get for real. And we got for real in our little thread. And, we educated a lot of people about, this whole thing of like white boyfriend music. But yeah, so off top, y'all are mad. Like these girls publicly have had non-black boyfriends. It's fine.
It's okay.
And the second thing is I think people were really, it's a regional thing too. Like we both lived in New York, but I lived in New York for a super long time. And I lived in New York during that transition of R&B becoming, when I moved in 2007, R&B was kind of dying out in a way. Traditional R&B was kind of dying out in a way. And it was the rise of Zeep and Different.
Stop, please.
The name of the episode is going to be Zeep and Different. And watching that play out literally in the culture, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people were caught up in what white boyfriend music sounds like, but not realizing that white boyfriend music is like a vibe, a culture, a style. It's a give.
And even I, through my laughter, had to like talk to you to understand the differences between what that could be, because there's people in the collage, in the graph, that I was like, oh, duh, down. I get it, white boyfriend music. But then I was just like, Solange literally makes black girl, I want to dress a certain way type of music. Like, I got an art degree, but I also come from Southeast. Like, it just give a specific, Solange is a very specific dog just in my life. But I also get, I'm thinking sound. I'm thinking, like propensity to white. I'm thinking like oonts being part of your core. Like Kalela's first project, I could see the danciness of it giving white boyfriend. I could see FKA Twigs Usexual and things prior to that giving like, oh yeah, girl, it's giving rave. Like this is not necessarily what we know R&B to sound completely like. Whereas in my mind, before like her last two albums, Solange's was like semi-traditional. But then I was just like, the give of it is all the same, because you think you are of a certain ilk because you listen to these girls, and that changes the conversation.
Right. So like what we had got to was who Solange was in terms of like the people that listen to her. It's that had the star, Solo Star and Hadley Street crowd are not the same girls that popped up when True came out. So True was when the white boyfriend music started in Solange's discography, because the Z and Z girls kind of came up and they were like, oh my gosh, she's wearing the Prince and she's like doing this and she's with Dirty Projectors and blah, 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 blah.
And she has songs of Montreal and it's like Stillness is the Move and like, okay.
And that's when that's what we mean by the give.
Yeah.
Is like, when you're saying, oh, I listen to things that's not R&B.
It's weird when you talk about it from a regional perspective because I feel like this give aspect of the conversation is a look and a vibe and a thing that people seek in New York.
Right.
We were doing the exact same thing going to college in Atlanta, and them niggas was country as fuck. They were black as hell, and it wasn't a thing. Them Hollywood niggas, everybody down the city of ink, they were hipsters. They were
But they still hung around regular, everyday black people, and those regular, everyday black people were in their life daily. It wasn't like they kind of careened themselves
or separated
off to only the certain like the you know, hipster black people, the blipsters could all hang out together. It's like, no, they hung out with everybody.
Yeah.
But they just dressed a certain way and they may have been tapped in with something else. But the tap in, a lot of time, the root of it is black music, because even when I think about a lot of black people listen to like punk music and stuff like that, their entry point is black punk bands.
Literally.
Not white punk bands. You know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So it's like, even when we're trying to be different, right? It's still rooted in black. But what makes the white boyfriend music thing a little different is also a lot of that music was made in concert with hipster white boys.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it white boyfriend music.
Yeah, because the production team is definitely the white boyfriends.
Hello.
Like, they literally are.
Hello. This is what you know what? Everybody's getting so upset. And they're like, no, because that's the blackest album I ever heard in my life. Look at the credits.
First of all, look at the credits. Look at
the credits.
That is a thing that I really go on record and say often, because I am a when I get home sad. Like,
hands down.
I love Solange's When I Get Home, but the world refuses to let me come up off a seat at the table. I live for a seat at the table as well. It's songs on there that change my life. But that, like, I am woke, I am black, I need you to know that about me thing is not something that I super duper resonate with, because I'm black.
Right.
Like, I literally am black as hell. Like, my grandmother used to run with the Panthers. Like, I went to all super duper black power militant type schools. I don't need that to be a Rolodex or like my calling card when I walk into a room. You gonna know because you gonna talk to me, and I sound like the middle of Bennett Road. Like, it's not really a separation that could be made, but because transplants ruin a lot of things. And I think that people coming to cities that they are not from just shifts and changes culture in a way that is not always for the best, just because of how they kind of bend and twirl what was once. And I think music is the same. Once they started letting everybody in, there's room for everyone. And like, I'm not trying to exclude anybody, but I do think...
Because I do think that people who don't come from this super culturally black background do have a place and do need to have music that is like speaking to them and resonating with them. But I think it's dangerous to hang your black hat on something when, if you look at the credits, it's white boys in Brooklyn, white boys in Austin. You know what I'm saying? And these are all guys we listen to. So it's not even like we're being like shady or anything like that. Like, you know, white producers from the UK that we love are all on these albums as well. So I think people just need to be realistic about who's in the room. Yeah. And being okay with who's in the room.
I want to come in the room.
And I want to turn it. And I think we need to also just like not put so much weight, the weight of black, on an album or an artist, you know, because even watching Luther Vandross documentary, his closest collaborator outside of his besties from childhood was this white guy. And that doesn't take away from any song that Luther has ever made. That has not made anything Luther's made any less black. Exactly. Right? And it hasn't made Luther zebra different because he worked with those white people.
Not at all, yeah.
You know, and so, but that's what's happening now.
Zebra and different is the funniest thing. Stop.
But it's just so weird. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's what makes it all ironic, right? Like you're trying to be so black, so like, you know,
I am black, hear me roar.
Hear me roar. But the music you're listening to
was created by a room full of white people. And creativity is born out of collaboration.
And you know what? We live, because again, we love all of those artists. Like, what's his name? David Longstreth from Dirty Projectors. You can never make me hate him. Well, I mean, there are like two things that can be said that'll make me hate him, but currently right now, musically,
today,
there's nothing you can say that I will be like, oh my God, his music sucks.
I mean, look at the white writers and stuff that's going on in the industry just today, right now. I want Jack Antonoff to write everything. I want, what's his name, Ryan Tedder to write everything. Like, I don't have a problem with the collaborative process. I think that it's the birthplace of creativity to collaborate with people that come from different walks of life, different sounds, different scapes. But that still don't make you better than nobody else.
Sure don't.
And it's really just that. Like, just because you worked with Of Montreal, Dirty Projectors, Panic at the Disco, fucking
Bak Bak and
like Kerrang
and
Band,
Guzu
like,
and Guzu and
because you know those names.
Again, all people we love. So this isn't shade. These are all people we listen to. Neon Indian, all those people.
Nobody calls Rihanna's music. We just had a full episode about her, and here she go again. Nobody calls Rihanna's music alternative R&B, and she literally took a Tame Impala song and made it her own. They said, here, just play it just like this. And she did, and it went off better than them. I live for them. But
and the thing is, and then when we really, really take it all the way back around, their foundation is black music.
Ding, 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 ding. Key on the buzzer.
You know what I'm saying? So when we're even talking about all these like white producers and writers that we love, like, you know, I was a Fade to Mine girl. So like I was very, very early on to Kalela because I would just be around the people that, you know, helped her first album, the Cut For Me album. And all their parties was chopped up, reworked R&B songs that we grew up on.
Yep.
You know, so at the end of the day, the root always goes back to regular black R&B.
And you don't even got,
at the end of the day, it goes back to Keisha Cole.
You don't even got to wait till the end of the day. It's when you first wake up.
Morning, sunshine.
That's a reference for that ass. I ain't going to say nothing else. That was funny. I just wanted to stop. That's all. I feel like it was cool at first, and then y'all took it too fucking far.
Too far.
You can't give the girls an inch. They will take them out, and they will say, oh, no, we about to run track on that ass. And I'm just like, okay, we've let y'all have y'all fun. Stop. It's not even giving that. Her will get up on the stage and tell you right now all of her inspirations, and they all are going to be black dolls. They're all going to be legends in R&B music. There might be some rock, which also has ties to R&B. There might be some gospel, also has ties to R&B, jazz, everything. All of it is the same. And I feel like y'all are, like you said, hanging your hat on these specific pillars or beings in music because they did something that resonated with that one little part of you that might be different, that needs to be spoken to. There's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't mean that you are not also a part of this bigger sound.
You are not the first different black person.
Like, and my thing is,
we've been here.
What is going? All of them people.
And I think a lot of the reason we can talk about that is because we were the different looking people on campus in college. Like, I was the only girl in my high school that was wearing a natural. And then I had a bleach blonde fro. You know what I'm saying? I came to Clark with a bleach blonde 613 fro, and everybody was like, who is this girl? Like, I visibly looked different. But then when you come in my dorm room, I'm playing the State Prop State Prop 2
that
soundtrack.
Diplomatic Immunity.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, of course I would play Kindred after, but for me, there is no difference between Kindred the Family Soul and State Property.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all from the same tree.
Yeah.
Of black.
And I feel like the experiences, whether sung differently or called out specifically, are very, very similar. Jill Scott is actually talking about the same type of stuff as DMX.
Hands down.
And no one is looking at her like she's trying to be different. And it's all because her hair is she got her hair wrapped.
All of Erykah Badu's singles is about drug dealers. About dating drug dealers. Think about it.
There's a series literally specific to that one theme in her music. It's like 4 different albums. And there's a song on each about the story of that.
But people think she's different and she's Zeep because she got the locks, she got the ankh, she got all that.
Like an ankh ring.
She's still a bird from Dallas like the rest of us. And that is also my birthday twin. Shout out to Batu.
I'm screaming.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that people don't realize how complex and how many layers black people can have. And so to kind of separate or move away from, it's like you're also disconnecting yourself. That's why everybody want community. Well, the community is right here. They might not look the way you think they should. They might not sound, talk, dress, but y'all are all connected. It's not even giving cousins. It's giving siblings. It's giving mama, papa.
The way you said siblings is taking me down. Let me fix my hat. I also think there's something.
Let me fix my hat.
Please don't get me started on that, lady. Congratulations, Beyonce, for everything that you are. Album of the year. Wow. White pop artists of the early 2000s literally were trying their damnedest to mimic and recreate R&B runs, and no one said anything. Britney Spears literally was trying to sing like all 3 TLC members. Nobody said anything. NSYNC thought that they were Boyz II Men, and so did it 98 Degrees, and so did but nobody's having this like war of genre with them. They were allowed literally to give pop a sound. Nobody batted an eyelash. Nobody cared. But as soon as Janae came out with Sailing Souls and she not singing like Jennifer Hudson, people are confused. That is wild to me. So that's why I'm just like, why is it even called something else when y'all be letting the white people do whatever they want?
Whatever they want. And the thing is, not only have black people historically done what we want musically, you're not setting a precedent. The precedent's already been set. The foundation has already been laid. There are people that you can call. There are elders. There are elders
that you can call
that can help you on your Zeep and Ziffer journey.
Yeah.
And so
y'all don't know Joy. Y'all don't know Big Gip. They not even that much older than us.
Oh my God, Joy is such a good reference as well. Like, and Joy is still making good music.
Khalees was a thing.
What? Reese was a thing.
Like, there are...
And they were still regular black girls.
My whole thing is this. Just because Khalees had hair like me and it was blue doesn't mean that she's not able to talk to, speak on the same type of stories that the hood bitch up the block got going on. And I feel like that...
Because think about it, when Khalees was out, everybody was tapped in with Khalees. No matter what type of black genre of black you were, we were all tapped into I Hate You So Much right now. We were all tapped into don't need no paper,
don't need no pencil, don't need no love letters. I just want to get along with you. Try me.
And you didn't have to be a certain type of black to be into Khalees.
No.
You know, even with Reese didn't get like the widespread marketing support that, you know, I think that she should have, but everybody knows Golden Boys. And you did not have to be, you know, the cool downtown black girl to know Golden Boys. It came on VH1 and MTV, and we all know that song.
Yeah. The Box.
The Box.
My mom wouldn't let me buy them videos, but I watched whatever y'all was buying.
Right. I was like, somebody, please
if y'all don't just put this on there for me. Yeah.
It was always Boom Like an 808. I was like, please somebody buy Boom Like an 808 by Black.
But people also looked at them girls like they was different.
Yep.
It was like TLC laid the foundation for Black. Black laid the foundation for the next group. Laid the foundation for the next group.
And you know who originally laid the foundation for the TLC to look like they did? LaBelle. When Patti LaBelle was in a group in the 70s.
Everything was futuristic.
They were the futuristic intergalactic girls. Yes, Patti LaBelle used to be in a group, and she used to wear Lady Gaga type costumes.
Shoulders from here to heaven.
Listen, wigs, crazy, doing all kind of stuff. And so TLC didn't start in the 90s. That was back there with LaBelle. I remember my mom said
freak show chic.
Listen, like my mom was saying they came down, they had a concert and they like came down on like a spaceship float down Broad Street. You know what I'm saying? And so everything has an origin. And at the end of the day, the origin is R&B, baby. So let's clap it up for R&B. Let's clap it up for regular R&B, regular black R&B.
And I just also love that people like Amani Long are getting shine because she's not even trying to do anything to separate herself. She's literally making the music that she grew up liking, and she wants to put her own spin on it. And she could do everything that all of these other girls are doing too, because she wrote for them. She already has shown that she could. But she's getting rewarded for making what y'all think traditional sounding, general, basic ass R&B is. And I love that for her because she said, don't call me Priscilla no more.
Period.
I'm not that girl. You have to kill the old version of you to become the new you or whatever. And I was like, this is deep, but I get what she's saying. And reward her for it because the music sound good. And I think that we should just be able to open our ears to the music sounding good as opposed to, oh, this is regular versus this is different, or this resonates with me because I grew up in a white neighborhood and like I only know this girl because she looks like me. Fuck that. Do it sound good. Do it sound good. Do the lyrics hit? Is it a good beat? How the production give? Like, everybody irritating. It makes me mad.
But not our co-hosts. We thank y'all so much for listening and tapping in with us and to just really join our campaign against the term alternative R&B.
It's not
just like neo soul artists in the 2000s hated the designation of neo soul. We are doing the same thing. Down with alternative R&B.
Down with it. Just because Cleo Soul is singing y'all affirmations does not mean that it's not regular R&B. Because Lovely Day, ain't that still affirmational?
The Wither Ben Bill.
Okay.
And with that, y'all.
And with that, I'm tired. Like, I've had enough. Yeah. Stop saying it. That's the cast. And don't say it no more.
Or else.
I wish somebody really would come out with an alternative R&B song so I could shut up. It'd be me wanting to be quiet for a change. Anyway. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night. A show.